The evening wind moved quietly through the open balcony where Ethan Clark stood, holding a half-finished cup of cold coffee. The city lights below shimmered like scattered memories he could not name. Ethan was a man who spoke little but felt deeply, carrying emotions the way others carried photographs in their wallets. Tonight, his thoughts were heavier than usual. Inside the apartment, soft music played from an old speaker that belonged to his wife, Olivia Bennett. Olivia believed music filled silence with meaning. She often said that silence was not emptiness, but a place where love learned to breathe. Ethan sometimes agreed, though tonight's silence felt different, sharper, like a question he was afraid to answer. Their marriage had begun with simple dreams. Ethan remembered walking beside Olivia near the Riverside Park in spring, talking about building a life where trust was stronger than fear. Olivia had laughed easily then, her voice carrying warmth like sunlight through early morning fog. She was a woman who believed love should feel safe, patient, and honest. But people change in ways they rarely announce. Ethan lowered his cup and stared at the distant street where passing cars moved like forgotten stories. He thought about the message on his phone, a message he had not answered for hours. "Are you coming tonight, Ethan?" The sender was Sophia Grant. Sophia was not loud like storms or sudden like thunder. She was quiet in the way autumn leaves are quiet when they fall slowly from tired trees. Ethan had met her at the design studio where he worked as a digital planner. She spoke about art like it was a breathing creature trapped inside human hands. Unlike Olivia, Sophia asked questions Ethan didn't know he wanted to answer. Olivia trusted Ethan. Trust, to her, was the foundation of marriage, something stronger than romance. She believed love was built through consistency, shared breakfasts, patient listening, and promises that were not broken even when life became difficult. Ethan respected that belief. He did not intend to destroy it. Yet loneliness is patient too. In the living room, Olivia was arranging papers on the wooden table. She worked as a school librarian, someone who spent her days protecting stories inside quiet shelves. Her hair was tied loosely tonight, and she hummed softly while organizing children's books returned by students. "Ethan," she said without turning, "did you eat dinner?" Her voice was gentle, familiar. "Not yet," Ethan replied after a pause. "I saved pasta in the refrigerator. Heat it later." Simple sentences, ordinary care. But Ethan felt something inside him tighten, not guilt exactly, but a strange weight he could not translate into words. He watched Olivia for a moment. There was comfort in the curve of her shoulders, the calm rhythm of her movements, the way she treated daily life like it was worth protecting. Olivia never asked him directly about work stress unless he spoke first. She trusted silence too much sometimes. Ethan checked his phone again. Sophia's message remained unanswered. He remembered meeting Sophia 2 months ago when a company organized a creative seminar. She had spoken about color psychology and human emotion in digital art. After the seminar, they talked near the parking lot while evening shadows stretched across concrete walls. "You look tired," Sophia had said. "I am always tired," Ethan replied. "Maybe you carry things alone." That sentence stayed inside Ethan's mind longer than he expected. Sophia did not promise love. She did not speak about future houses or planned families. She simply listened when Ethan spoke about pressure at work, about feeling invisible inside meetings where louder voices were rewarded. Loneliness found doors inside such conversations. Now, standing on the balcony, Ethan felt the silent tension of two different worlds pulling him gently but steadily apart. Inside, Olivia turned slightly and asked, "Is everything okay at work?" Ethan hesitated before answering. "Yes, just thinking." Olivia nodded. She knew Ethan's version of thinking often meant he was fighting something inside himself. The wind grew cooler. Ethan remembered the message he had written earlier but not sent. "I might come tonight." He had not decided. Love, he believed, was not always about grand declarations. Sometimes it was about choosing which voice to follow when the heart spoke in different languages. Olivia walked toward him slowly. "You should wear a jacket if you go outside later," she said softly. "The night is getting cold." Her concern felt natural, almost invisible in its simplicity. Ethan smiled faintly. "Thank you." Silence returned, but this time it carried history. Shared meals, shared dreams, and small promises that had once felt eternal. Ethan knew something was changing inside him, like water slowly finding new paths beneath frozen ground. His phone vibrated again. Sophia had sent one more message. "I understand if you don't come." Ethan looked at the balcony lights, then at Olivia standing inside the warm glow of their living room. He felt a strange, quiet beginning of a decision he did not yet understand. And somewhere inside his heart, two voices waited, one speaking the language of safety, the other speaking the language of longing. Ethan inhaled slowly, as if preparing to step into a story that was only just beginning. The night had not yet chosen him. Neither had he chosen the night. The city night deepened like a slow breath, holding secret thoughts. Ethan Clark remained uncertain while standing between two choices that did not speak loudly, but pulled at him quietly. Inside his chest lived a restless rhythm. Not fear alone, but the complicated feeling of wanting and not wanting at the same time. From the living room, soft golden light fell across Olivia Bennett's face as she adjusted her reading glasses and checked school library records on her laptop. Olivia worked with patience because she believed knowledge grew slowly, like trees learning how to carry wind. She trusted structure, routine, and emotional honesty, believing love should feel predictable enough to protect human weakness. Ethan walked inside after some minutes of balcony silence. He noticed Olivia's calm posture, the familiar way she pressed her fingers lightly on the keyboard while thinking. He wondered whether stability was another form of invisible love that people rarely celebrated. "Are you going somewhere tonight?" Olivia asked without looking up. The question was simple, but carried layers of meaning Ethan could feel but not immediately answer. "I am not sure," Ethan said. Olivia paused her work. She turned slightly, studying his expression with the quiet attention of someone who had learned to read small emotional signals over years of marriage. "You have been distant this week," she said gently. "Work pressure?" Ethan nodded because the word work felt safer than explaining the confusion growing inside him. Olivia did not push. She believed truth should walk forward willingly. She returned to her laptop, but her silence was different now, a thoughtful silence rather than comfortable quietness. Ethan sat on the opposite chair. He remembered the first years of their marriage, when conversation flowed easily. Back then, dreams were large and future plans were spoken as if certainty was natural. They had talked about buying a small house near a school, maybe having children later when financial stability allowed emotional expansion. Life, however, had replaced many dreams with practical survival. Ethan's phone vibrated again inside his pocket. He knew without checking that it was Sophia Grant. Sophia worked at the same creative company, but approached life differently. Where Olivia believed stability protected love, Sophia believed emotion should not be imprisoned inside social expectation. Ethan thought about the last conversation he had with Sophia in the quiet stairway behind the studio building. "You look like someone standing in two different rooms," Sophia had said. "What does that mean?" Ethan asked. "It means part of you wants comfort, and part of you is searching for something you have not named yet." Ethan had not answered then. Now he felt the truth of that sentence growing heavier. Olivia closed her laptop slowly. "Ethan," she said. "Yes? If something is bothering you, you can tell me." Her voice carried no accusation, only invitation. Ethan felt the familiar warmth of trust, but also the unfamiliar ache of emotional distance. He realized that honesty sometimes hurts people who did nothing wrong. That he swallowed before speaking. "I met someone at work," he said quietly. The room seemed to hold its breath. Olivia did not react immediately. She waited because she believed sudden emotional movement could break fragile truth. "Her name is Sophia," Ethan continued. "We talk sometimes. About design. About life." Olivia nodded once. "Do you like talking to her?" Olivia asked. Ethan hesitated. The question was simple but dangerous because it asked for emotional precision. "Yes," he said finally. "She listens when I feel tired." Olivia lowered her eyes for a moment. Pain did not appear dramatically in her face. It settled quietly like evening shadow touching water. "Do you love her?" Olivia asked. The question felt heavier than the night itself. Ethan's heart tightened. He thought about Sophia's messages, her calm voice, her understanding of his professional pressure, the strange comfort he felt when speaking with her. He also thought about mornings with Olivia, shared tea, silent support, and the safety he sometimes took for granted. "I don't know," Ethan answered honestly. Olivia inhaled slowly. Uncertainty was more honest than false promises. "I am not angry," Olivia said after a long pause. "But I am afraid." "Of what?" Ethan asked. "Of becoming someone you stay with out of habit, not love." Her words were soft but sharp. Ethan felt guilt, but mixed with it was confusion, because Sophia represented freedom from emotional routine, while Olivia represented emotional home. The phone inside his pocket vibrated again, persistent like a heartbeat asking for attention. Olivia noticed. You can go tonight if you want, she said suddenly. Ethan looked at her. But think carefully, Olivia added. Not only about what you want now, but about what you can live with tomorrow. The clock on the wall ticked slowly. Ethan stood up. The decision was not made, but movement was beginning to walk toward the door, then stopped. Olivia, he said. Yes? I'm still trying to understand my heart. Olivia smiled faintly. I am also trying to understand mine, she replied. Ethan opened the apartment door, feeling the cold night air waiting outside like a silent observer of human weakness. He did not know whether he was walking toward love or away from it. But he knew one thing. Tonight, he would meet Sophia, and nothing inside his life would remain exactly the same afterward. The door closed softly behind him, carrying uncertainty into the darkness. The night air outside the apartment felt sharper than Ethan Clark expected, touching his face with quiet determination as he walked toward the downtown cafe where Sophia Grant had asked to meet. Neon reflections spread across wet pavement like scattered memories that refused to stay still. Ethan kept his steps slow because speed sometimes hides fear inside movement. Inside his chest, uncertainty spoke in two voices. One voice carried the warmth of Olivia Bennett's calm presence, her patience, her quiet belief that love should grow through trust and time. The other voice carried Sophia's understanding silence, the way she listened without correcting his thoughts, as if emotional wandering was not a sin, but a stage of human searching. Ethan pushed open the cafe door. Soft brown lighting and low conversation noise welcomed him like a neutral space that did not judge emotional complexity. Sophia sat near the window wearing a simple navy coat, her dark hair falling loosely across her shoulders. She looked thoughtful rather than excited, as if she already knew the weight Ethan carried before he spoke. You came, Sophia said softly. I wasn't sure I would, Ethan admitted while sitting opposite her. Sophia nodded once. She never celebrated hesitation or condemned it. She treated uncertainty like weather, something people walk through rather than fight. You look tired, Sophia said. I'm tired of thinking, Ethan replied. Silence settled between them. Not uncomfortable, but meaningful. The coffee machine hummed somewhere behind them, mixing with distant traffic sounds. Sophia placed her hands gently on the table. Did you talk to your wife? She asked. Yes. What did you tell her? I told her about you. Sophia's eyes reflected the cafe lights briefly before returning to Ethan's face. And how did she react? She said she is afraid of becoming someone I stay with out of habit. Sophia inhaled slowly. Her expression did not change dramatically, but a small sadness entered her eyes. That is a very honest fear, Sophia said. Olivia is wise. Ethan felt strange discomfort hearing another woman speak respectfully about his wife. You make me feel confused, Ethan said after a moment. Why? Because I feel peace when I talk to you, but I feel history when I am with her. Sophia did not respond immediately. She looked outside the window where people moved like distant shadows carrying their own stories. Ethan, Sophia said finally, I do not want to become a secret you hide. Her words were calm but firm. I do not want to destroy your marriage either. Ethan felt a pressure inside his throat. What do you want then? He asked. Sophia smiled faintly, not with joy but with understanding. I want you to decide what love means to you, she said. Not what feels easier tonight, but what you can live inside tomorrow morning when silence returns. Ethan thought about Olivia arranging school library records, about shared meals, about trust that did not ask for constant emotional proof. He also thought about conversations with Sophia that felt like breathing after holding air too long. Do you love me? Ethan asked suddenly. Sophia did not answer immediately. She considered the question carefully, as if protecting truth from emotional impulse. I feel connected to you, she said. But connection is not the same as choosing a life. Ethan nodded slowly. I am afraid of hurting Olivia, he said. Then do not lie to her, Sophia replied. Even if truth brings pain. The cafe door opened and closed as strangers entered and left, symbolizing life's continuous movement. Sophia continued quietly. If you stay with Olivia, stay with her fully. If you choose another path, do not walk it while looking backward. Ethan felt tears forming but not falling. Why are you so calm about this? He asked. Because love should not become captivity, Sophia said. And I cannot love someone who is emotionally divided forever. Outside, night deepened like closing chapters of a book. Ethan realized something painful and clear. Sophia was not trying to steal him from his marriage. She was trying to free him from living inside emotional contradiction. He placed his phone on the table, screen facing downward. I need time, he said. Sophia nodded. Take time. But do not disappear without choosing honesty. They stood together near the cafe exit. Neither touched the other. Ethan felt the strange gravity of two women representing two different forms of love, one built on safety and shared history, the other built on emotional awakening and freedom. As he walked away from the cafe, the wind carried mixed feelings inside him. Back in the apartment, Olivia was waiting, sitting near the dim yellow lamp, reading quietly. Ethan did not know which door his heart would open tomorrow, but he understood one thing. Tonight, love was not only about desire. It was also about responsibility, truth, and the courage to accept the consequence of choice. And somewhere inside the silence of the city, his heart kept searching for a path it had not yet decided to walk. Dawn arrived quietly, touching the city with pale silver light that slipped through the apartment window, where Ethan Clark sat alone on the wooden chair. His mind felt heavy yet strangely calm, as if emotional storms had spent their strength during the night. He had returned home after meeting Sophia Grant, but he had not spoken much to Olivia Bennett, choosing silence instead of words that were not fully formed inside his heart. Olivia was in the kitchen preparing tea, her movements slow and careful. She believed morning rituals protected emotional balance. The sound of boiling water was gentle, almost musical, blending with distant traffic awakening outside. Ethan watched her. He remembered Sophia's final words, "Do not live divided forever." Olivia placed 2 cups on the table and sat opposite him. "You did not sleep well," she said. "No," Ethan answered honestly. "Did you meet her?" "Yes." Olivia did not ask who because truth had already entered their relationship space. "Do you love her?" Olivia asked. The question carried no anger, only tired honesty. Ethan looked at his hands. He felt the weight of responsibility inside simple silence. "I feel peace when I talk to Sophia," he said slowly. "But peace is not the same as home." Olivia listened without interrupting. She had learned that marriage sometimes meant allowing difficult truth to finish speaking before responding. "Do you still love me?" Olivia asked softly. Ethan inhaled deeply. "Yes," he said. "But my heart is confused between comfort and longing." Olivia closed her eyes briefly, absorbing the emotional meaning rather than reacting emotionally. "I cannot fight your confusion," she said. "Love cannot survive if it becomes a battlefield." Ethan felt sudden sadness because Olivia's maturity made guilt sharper. "I'm afraid of hurting you," Ethan said. "Fear does not decide destiny," Olivia replied gently. "Choice does." Silence settled between them like morning fog over quiet water. Outside, children's voices echoed faintly from the street where school was beginning. Olivia thought about the students in the library who trusted her to protect stories. She realized she wanted her own life story to be protected too. "Ethan," she said after a moment, "I want honesty more than loyalty without heart." He looked at her. "If you want to stay, stay because you choose me, not because leaving feels difficult." Ethan felt something break softly inside his chest. Not pain alone, but the end of illusion. "I need time to understand my heart completely," he said. Olivia nodded. "Then take time," she said. "But do not live between 2 lives forever." She stood and walked toward the window, watching sunlight spread slowly across rooftops. Ethan spoke again. "Sophia said something similar." Olivia smiled faintly. "Then perhaps both of us are teaching you the same lesson." Ethan felt strange clarity growing inside him. Sophia represented emotional awakening, understanding, listening, freedom from loneliness. Olivia represented life continuity, shared history, responsibility, trust built through years. He realized he could not keep both without breaking one. The phone on the table vibrated. A message from Sophia. "I am leaving the city next month for a project abroad. I wanted you to know." Ethan read the message silently. He felt neither joy nor panic, only the quiet recognition that life was moving regardless of his hesitation. He typed a response, but paused before sending it. Then he deleted the words. He stood and walked toward Olivia. "I choose truth," Ethan said. Olivia turned slowly. "I am still confused," he continued. "But I cannot keep living between you and her." Olivia waited. "I want to try rebuilding our marriage," Ethan said. "Not out of fear of losing you, but because I believe our history matters." Tears appeared quietly in Olivia's eyes, not from happiness alone, but from emotional release. "Do you promise to stay emotionally honest?" she asked. "Yes," Ethan said. Olivia nodded slowly. Then I will stay and try again. The sunlight grew warmer across the room. Ethan did not feel sudden happiness. Instead, he felt the beginning of difficult peace. The understanding that love was not always excitement, but sometimes the courage to choose imperfect truth. Later, he would send Sophia a final message. Thank you for helping me understand myself. I wish you a beautiful life. Sophia would read it and smile quietly, accepting closure as part of mature love. That morning, Ethan and Olivia sat together drinking tea, not as people who solved everything, but as two individuals deciding to walk forward despite uncertainty. The city outside continued living. Children going to school, people chasing dreams, hearts learning from pain. Inside the apartment, two broken pieces of trust slowly began searching for healing. The story did not promise eternal happiness, but it promised something harder and more honest. The courage to choose, to accept consequence, and to continue loving while carrying memory. And somewhere in the quiet space between sunrise and memory, Ethan finally understood that love was not about possessing another heart. Love was about choosing the heart you are willing to protect, even when life becomes difficult. The future remained uncertain, but the decision had been made, and the story waited silently for whatever would come next.